We turn now to our weekly segment, TikTok, where we take a closer look at the story behind the sensation. A camera, a pocket full of dog toys, and an eye for everyone's best friend. Elias Weiss Friedman has photographed 50,000 dogs for his online platform, the Dogist, across Instagram and TikTok, where he also posts his interactions with the pup and their owner. Let's take a look.
Excuse me, may I take a photo of your dog quickly?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, what's his name?
Lunchbox.
Lunchbox? What kind of dog is Lunchbox?
He's half lab, half pit.
Is he from a rescue or anything?
Yeah, came from Texas, got him out in Seattle.
Now he's coming out with a new book on June 3rd. This Dog Will Change Your Life, a love letter to all the canines who've left a paw print on his heart. Elias, kind enough to join us in studio. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So how did you come across this idea? You know what, I'm going to just take pictures of random dogs I see on the street.
Yeah, well, 11 years ago, I was let go from my job, and I saw what the sartorialist was doing in Humes of New York, other street photographers, and I thought, what about doing that for dogs? We see these dogs walking around the streets, we wonder who they are, and I missed having a dog. I had dog-stalgia, and I was sort of crazy enough to be the one to document them all.
And so in your book, This Dog Will Change Your Life, you start out the introduction with, I owe my life to a dog. Can you give us a little synopsis of that story?
Yes. So it's a story I've heard most growing up. My grandmother's dog, Oreo, when I was a toddler, I was with my grandmother, and she went inside to get a jacket and left me outside with Oreo. And when she came outside, I was gone, and so was Oreo. And everyone freaked out. The police were called, the fire department, and they found me about to cross a big street with Oreo keeping me out of the road. And so Oreo, saved my life in that way. I don't know what would have happened. And actually, I was just reenacted it for a thing for the Philadelphia Inquirer for a piece where I walked with Elsa the same route. And it was sort of like a trippy thing for me to do it as an adult.
Thank God for Oreo. And you mentioned Elsa. Talk to us about your own dog who you adopted.
Yeah, Elsa is my dog, Husky mix. She's a pandemic pup. She came from Texas. And she opened up another chamber of my heart.
And congratulations, I know you recently got married.
Thank you.
And Elsa was your dog of honor.
Yes.
Dressed like your bride.
Yeah.
Right?
The dressmaker cut a piece of Sam's dress out of her dress and fashioned it for Elsa.
So cute. And I guess Sam, really, your wife, Elsa and Sam had to get along, right?
Oh yeah, that was the first test, but yes. She passed it with flying colors. We had the right dog energy together.
So give us a sense of how you went from having such a fan base on social media, taking the dog pictures, to actually then writing a book.
Yeah, well, it started with just photographs and captions, and then TikTok came along and things became reels, and you started to see my whole process. And it's time for me to sort of distill everything down and all these amazing experiences and write a book about how dogs change our lives.
And in that book, you write, dogs make people's lives better by making people better. Dogs improve us. They save us. They give our lives greater meaning and make our lives feel more fulfilled. How so? And we could talk about Elsa in particular for your life.
Yeah. Well, the book is broken down into 3 different sections. Our purpose, our identity, and our relationships. So, for example, our relationships. Before you get a dog, you know your neighbor. And after you get a dog, you know your neighborhood. So there's this force of socialization, and the dog just sort of leads you into this new version of yourself, this new life.
Well, congratulations, Elias. Thank you so much for coming on the show. You can check out The Dogist on TikTok, where every dog has its day and every photo tells a story. And find This Dog Will Change Your Life wherever books are sold starting June 3rd. Still to come,